Okay, for today's video, we're gonna be going back here because there's a leak inside the wall of the plumbing going into the shop. So I'm gonna go ahead and start removing some of these panels, and it should be somewhere around here where this connects. One of these panels here, right here, it's gonna expose the plumbing, at least roughly. How do I know? Because I counted on the inside from where the faucet is at. So I'm gonna try to see if just removing, I can see some plumbing in there, which I'm gonna see there's insulation too, that I'm gonna have to move back. So hopefully I don't have to remove the whole panel all the way to the top, because these are 25 feet tall or something. Let's see if it lets me bend it back enough. Let me try to feel for that. Yeah, it happens to be right there. Lucky me. Let me bring in the camera. Actually, this is one piece. I am not going to be able. I'll have to remove some more up there, so I could flex it as much as I can and not have to. Oh, but I need a ladder. It's really high, the next one. Let me come back with the ladder. Okay, we're back with a small little ladder here. And we're gonna remove a couple of more of these panels to access the pipe. Let me see where we're at. Hopefully that's enough, and I don't have to keep on going any higher. Pipe is right there. Let me get something to hold back. It would probably be nice to go one more higher, because the higher the better. It'll flex more back. Let me see if I can do one more with this little ladder here. I'm gonna be sketchy here, getting on top of the last piece, which one should not ever get on top of. Let me get another roll while I'm at it. Might as well do another roll to the side here just to let it flex. This way also. This is over a water leak. So now we got good space. I'm gonna find a stick or something to wedge on the top there and control this from closing up on me. Let me stop the video. I'll be right back. Okay, got this little stick here. Let's see how I wedge the stick in here to hold this. There it goes. Let me bring this camera up some, and let's see how we can get a good view in there. Now I'm gonna cut this insulation back so I could take off that piece only. Let me see. Oh no, actually the brake was right there. That's the insulation, so I don't have to cut it. I can just hold it back. Let's see if the Milwaukee drill will hold it. Yep. And then now I have to open up the water and see. See right there? Let's see where this leak is at. And luckily the valve, the shutoff is right outside, about 3 feet away from this area. So now I'm gonna open up the water and let's see. Okay, so I can see it already. It's kind of hard, but it's right up there. It seems that I see water dripping through here. So it has to be a little bit more going that way. Let me push the camera back so I could see myself better. And I'll show an image later. I might have to remove. It's right here, behind this piece of wood right there. Let me shut it off so I don't get no more water in there. So, I might have to remove these panels all the way up if this wood becomes very difficult. You can see it's squirting right now. It would suck to remove this whole panel off after all of this. But that would be the right thing to do, because this screw that's holding right there a T that then is feeding against the sink. It was leaking right there. And the screw comes from the other side holding a strap to hold that pipe. It then continues on that way. Hold on, let me see something. Where in the world is that going? Oh, that's the one for the toilet that way. The sink right here. So hard to see in there. And then let me go take a look on the other side. I know it's hard to tell, but there's a wood here. I don't know what the function was to why they wanted to hold that pipe up there, but I'm gonna cut it off with this little Milwaukee cutoff. And it almost made it through. It needs like, wow, only like a 1/16 of an inch to make it through. Which is crazy. It means I'll have to get let me get a flashlight in there so the video can come out better, but I'm gonna have to get a saw to do the rest, but it'll be very easy. If not, I could maybe cut at a couple of angles and put the blade at an angle there. So let me give it a shot get a flashlight to see better. Okay, brought a saw, a little one. Put a little light in there too, see if it helps. And let's try to cut the remainder of this. that made it very easy because it was so much of it cut already. Now, let me see how I get this piece out from the bottom. Okay, so what was going on here? There's a strap here that's holding on a bolt. And I'm gonna have to cut the strap also with the saw because the screw is from the inside out before they put the inside wall. So I will not be able to unscrew it. But I can't fit the saw in there, almost got cut. So what am I gonna need to get here? Some pliers. That'll fit there. Let me get me some pliers now. Okay, I'm back. Move the camera a little bit down. Got me a pair of snips, dikes, wire cutters, whatever you like to call them. And I'm gonna come in here and see if I could cut off this plastic, which is doing it. Plastic, like, that's a strap to hold that pipe there for that little short run. I don't even know why they felt they needed to do that, but just put a lot of strain on that unnecessarily. So now, let me cut the top part of the strap so I can see better. Now, we are gonna turn the water on and see where that was leaking by. Which I might be able to get the camera now a little bit closer. See how good. Oh no, that's not even coming out in the image what I'm doing up there. I thought it would. So let me lower this down. Sorry about that. Let me go down and adjust these legs, and then now I can go up here. Is that allowing me to see there or not? Yeah, you can see right up there. But I'm gonna have to put better lighting there or something. See up there? I have to stick the camera in there somehow because the lighting is just not good here. Let's see here. There it goes. You can see now, right there. And now we're gonna be able to see. Let me zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna have to open this up some more. No, that's not working there. Maybe here. Like that. Yeah, perfect. Now we can see this image. You'll be able to see now clearly where the water leaks by when I open this shut off here. How crazy is that? Looks like the actual pipe. It's not that it burst. It looks like it's been rubbing for a bit up against that metal because they left that metal all jaggedy. The smart person that did this, and it was rubbing against there. So I'm gonna see these tin cutters. How I can kind of, let me start, see if I could cut out of there. Let me see where I'm looking at here in the image. Let me see how I could cut around. It's gonna be a little bit difficult here, but I'm gonna have to cut around here because it looks like that scratched. the heck out of that PEX pipe. That was so smart to cut that like that, but regardless, I gotta see now how. First of all, what is this wood? What was the necessity of this wood? So that's not good. Let me think real quick. What is the best angle of attack? Because I gotta cut all the way around there. Let me see what exactly is on the other side. If this a piece of wood, or if this part now just. Let me see if I can see that on the other side. Be right back. So I got lucky. It comes out and turns out that in the inside, it's not falling behind a cabinet that's here and actually right here, which I don't understand why they felt they had to put it at that angle down instead of straight out and do it with this jaggedy section there. So luckily, one of the things that have this little, which I'll put a link down below. This is not the regular, angle grinder or anything. This is like a little mini saw here, and it's really practical for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting around here and move this up. But first, I'm gonna get me an adjustable pair of pliers and take off that hose to work more comfortably there. Okay, coming back from the toolbox, and let's see. Let me get this out of here. Okay. See if I can get it stuck somewhere here. So it's not gonna be bothering me. Damn it. I can't believe I dropped the pliers whole like that. Wow. I thought it would have stood up there. Leaning. One thing after the other. Oh, now I gotta get a magnet to go pull it out. Let me stop this real quick. Let's see if this little magnet has the power. Oh, never mind. It fell through the outside. Let me go out there. Let me take a break here. Okay, so I got the pliers. Luckily, it's the shop bathroom, and that's why this wall is not too complicated like a house. So I'm able to work a little bit better with it. So I got me something else to hold this now to the side. Let's see how this works out. Never mind. I'm just gonna take it off from the top. Sometimes trying to be lazy and skip a little stupid step and you waste more time. I gotta work with this toilet in the way as it is. It's just harder. Now, I changed the blade on this too. Bless me. To the metal blade. Let's start cutting here. Let's see if that's enough. Either ways, I'll put some type of cover later on here. And that's it. Got this little corner here now. Oh man, I left the other snips outside. Let me get another pair from inside and from here inside the shop and cut that little piece because I don't want to keep on getting any closer to that fitting right there and damage something else. Let's try that right here. There we go. This is what I don't understand. Why this had to be this tension that it has and going down. They didn't need to do that. This plastic is thick. And this is sharp, the edges here where I just cut. So it's not like I want to be just pulling hard on this. So it looks to me that what broke, it was this pipe here from the wind. Probably got somewhere in there and made this move back and forth. And that's what broke it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to not just replace this, but bring not just the piece that broke, this little stub here, but actually I'll move this fitting up. I gotta see from the outside how I can cut it off so I can put a new, or either a new T, or if that T doesn't get messed up, flip it up a little bit. Now this has to be cut off because I'm gonna get hurt. There it goes. So yeah, let's go outside and see what we can do out there. So my first intent here is gonna be to cut off the metal little pieces there, the rings that actually compress the PEX pipe into that fitting, so I could remove it. And I should be able to do that easily with this machine. That should be cut already. And maybe I could still save, some of the pipe. But I still got a cut on the bottom right here. Probably to get that out. Let me see if I could already split this up. Let me get a flathead screwdriver. And that should let me pull that away. Stuck. So if the fitting doesn't want to get stuck and play games, break this open right here. Yeah, it's loose. That one is loose. This one. Perfect. Now, let me get in there and see how I could separate it. Oh, there he goes. See, that's how it should have been. this here. Let me get these out of the way. Now to get those out of there, it's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the butt because I would have to pull apart, and it's a very uncomfortable position there to pull apart. So let me move the video back and try to see what I can do because the camera's kind of in the way for me to get in there. And this is uncomfortable because I'm not in front of it. I'm at an angle from it. I think I'm gonna have to cut at least one of them off with the PVC or PEX cutters, and then it'll reach, because this could give that way a lot. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just cut off on the right side. Let me get my PVC. I'll put a link of these. I have a video on it if you want to search through my channel, but I'll put a link right here. These are the best, the mini ratchet action. So you don't do any effort like the other ratchet ones that you gotta struggle with. This one's made by Rigid, by the way. All right, so one side is off. It's gonna make it a lot easier for me to wiggle this off now. Now, let me get the whole valve out. If I put it in the upright position in the open, it'll fit through the hole. There we go. It will fit through the hole now. There we go. And now I can maybe here play with this a little bit better. Even now it's hard. Let me see something. There, boom, boom. This wood is still in my way, this stupid wood. I couldn't figure out why they thought they needed to put that wood there. Can't figure that out. Well, I'm gonna have to cut it, pry it out of there. So this, if I could go down, I could use this. But this is so hard in there right now. I'm gonna have to cut it also. And then if anything, I'm gonna have to put another new piece of, because then it might not reach at this point. Let's see. And let me show you, now that I got the camera here, where this leak was at. You see right there? That's what's rubbing there. I guess the wind will make this jiggle there. That was the problem. Now I'm gonna replace that piece. First, let me see how I could carefully grab this here and take it off so I could save the teeth. That little cut I did there, I could pry it without damaging the teeth there. What I do is that I come at it at an angle like this and let the blade just ride the edge of that. You don't want it to go deep because you don't want it to grab that, in this case, the black plastic of the teeth. If it does, then we have to not use this teeth and get ourselves another one. So let's see if it's enough to pull it out here, because this one's longer. Did we damage it? Yes or no? Nope, not even a scratch. But now we still have one more that we have to take off. Actually, maybe two more. Can I just cut this short and put it right there, or no? Let me see. We'll figure it out now. Clamp is off. Somebody keeps texting me. So I wonder if I could just cut off the bad part. If I could use, if it's long enough still for me to use. Let's see. Do I have enough here of a stick out when I go that way? I'm gonna take this one off, the last one. I gotta get a good position so I don't scratch the actual teeth. And most of the time, the reason that you want to reuse this is not about saving $1 or $2. It's about that you might not have this, and you have to then go to the hardware store to get it. So it's not about being cheap. It's about the time you waste going to the hardware store if you could just reuse the part. But yeah, that's the situation. I might have one of these, but I have to go look. And regardless, I'm showing everybody here how to save it in case they don't have one at hand and they want to solve that problem the same day. Because that's the thing, this could happen to you at a time where you're fixing something and hardware store is closed. Then you'll be without water then. You know, it might be really important for you to have water in that particular spot and not lose it overnight. All right, it looks good. Now, would this be long enough if I put it there? Let's check, because if it is, guess what? I don't have to do anything. Put another one or anything, it'll work. So I'm gonna look in here, see if I put this here and here, if everything's gonna reach. And you know what? It looks like it will. Just gonna bring it down a little bit more and get this wood out of the way. That pain in the butt wood. Let me get something to pry it off. Okay, I got me a little one of these pry bars, mini ones, to gently pry this off of here. Did I have a hammer out here or not? Nope. It's inside. Let me see now if I can jiggle it that way. Doesn't come back because this pipe here is thicker. I'm working in a very uncomfortable environment, to say the least. This is why it's that I'm struggling. But it might work out. I'll use a little rock there for leverage. Damn, this stupid person that thought about putting this wood here. Now I exposed on the bolt that I might be able to cut it off. Let me see if I fail it. Yep, I made it. I removed it far enough back that I exposed like a ½ inch of the bolt. And that let me cut it off. The famous piece of wood that was in my way. Now, we gotta cut that hole down so that this fitting there, the valve will be more low. Let me. Okay, perfect. I think it's perfect. I'll show you now what's going on. So I made that hole, and I'll show you actually from the inside how I made that hole bigger. Left a little piece on the top. Connect it. So now I need to get me, so I should have brought 3 and I brought 2 only. So yeah, this is gonna fit and make it out there. So I'm gonna get 2 more of these. One's gonna go in here to grab this here. Now honestly, this should be all the way to the back. So you know what? I'm gonna actually cut this off and put a longer little piece of PEX there. So you could grab more. Let me take that one off now. I have to make the line on the plastic too because it's stuck also. Let me do more sensitive part with this. I started it with that to go faster. Let's see if it wants to pull out completely now. Let me take out this stupid clamp that are those loose. It's still kind of in my way. And now I can pry this out. Now I'm gonna get me a piece of PEX, just a little bit longer than this, and some clamps, and I'll be back. Okay, I guess while I was gone, the wind knocked my little stick down. Okay, and I went ahead and put this piece already in here. You know, put a little piece of PEX and clamped up. Now I'm gonna use the other two clamps and clamp up in there on the pipe that's in there. And then I'll go from the other side and fix up whatever I have to do. But right now, this one's gonna come right here on one of these pipes here. And the other one on the other one. That's the two sides of this T. Then I'm gonna slide this T, one end in it and the other end on the other side. And then I just clamp him up. And if I could only hold this back more over here. I need a longer stick. I'm gonna have to cut so the same issue doesn't happen again. I'm gonna have to cut a little bit more to the right. That hole, the opening here. Right. That is bigger now because it was still gonna rub now on the right side because I moved it down. So it's gonna be now rubbing on me, and I'm not gonna make the same mistake somebody else here made, which was a stupid mistake. Because I don't see why anybody had to make that mistake there. And then, let me see something here. Why did they have this pipe here so stretched out? All right, let me tighten these two up. And we should not have a leak anymore, hopefully. Unless there was another problem caused by all this movement here. Let's see how this works. Okay, let's go on the inside now. Take a look. So yes, you do see a big hole here, but this is what I was saying. Like originally I made it up and down, but because I had to cut to the left, because when I moved that, I made the pipe shorter. So I mean the one on that side, which is my right here, can give this way. That one wasn't giving that way. So shift it over to the left, but now it'll never rub with anything. And you're probably wondering, well, you have a big hole there that looks ugly. Well, damn, the wind is moving the outside piece. There it goes. Here's the thing. This is the shop bathroom. Let me go outside and hold that down real quick before it gets bent up. There's the wind. So yeah, I had to come outside here and hold this. Bent the hell out of that panel. So yeah, this I was saying this is a shop bathroom. I put a piece of square metal with the hole. Basically, just go like this and cover that up. It'll be like an access plate. And the next person won't have to do none of this cutting if there's ever a problem here again. I'm gonna bend this back so it's not popping out. There it goes. Now, I'll close it, go outside, see if there's any leaks. All right, back out here. Let me move this ladder out of the way that I was using it to hold this panel in place because the wind went crazy. And got my trusty piece of wood over here again. Open up the water because that wood don't want to play. Let's see if the one that I cut out of here does a better job. Let's open the water now and check for leaks. No leaks. So that means we are good to go. Start closing this off here. But before I do, what I was thinking about doing was, so this pipe here, is it worth it? So this pipe don't freeze. Let me see if I find some pool noodles that I can put in there and prevent that from freezing in the future, because this had issues also out here freezing. So yeah, I found me a couple of pool noodles. I'm gonna put them around the pipe as an extra insulation besides the insulation that is in here, you know. So the actual pipe itself is insulated. Let's see how easy it is for it to travel down the wall. It's too tight to go down the wall. So I'm just gonna use it here, at least on these pipes right here, because I can't push it. I tried, but the insulation is packed there to the point that it's not gonna let it. I'm gonna let it just push through too much resistance. But I'll do these pieces here at least. Anything that can be insulated is better than none. Might let it go a couple of more degrees extra. Goes one piece. Got another piece here. Of course, I did a slit through it throughout the long way so I could open it and make sure it goes around these pipes. And no, this is not perfect, but it's something better than nothing. I'm gonna do this on a little angle to go over that elbow. And I did the opposite way. I did it like if I was using that side. There you go. And then, can I push that way at least some? Not very little. Again, it's gonna hit. Oh! Gotta do to the blade. Now let's cover this insulation back up here. And there we go. How's the commercial say from that company? But it says like if it never happened. It's the name of that company. The Restoration. Yeah, that's kind of how this is. Like if it never happened. Something Pro. Something Pro, but that's their little logo, like it never happened. And this today is probably saving me a $200 plumbing bill or more. Depending how much they want to say they have to remove this whole panel. You know, the work that entails. Of course, because no one wants to work uncomfortable. And this was uncomfortable to deal with not taking out this panel. But I'll back up and show you the height of this shop and what the alternative was. Which is very hard to deal with, especially one person alone to take this off. It would have been a challenge because the wind, it's a big sail and the wind would have been moving it around. I could get cut and everything. I'm not trying to be sound like scared of it, but it's a little bit how do you say it? It's not a nice easy job to do when you're dealing with a big obstacle, not obstacle, but piece of metal like this that can cut you in. And it's very large. And then you got the wind pushing you one way. So it's not worth it. You gotta value your life sometimes. I'm gonna go after finishing here, go inside and film also putting that back together and how I end up messing with that and putting some type of cover to make it look nice too, and make sure I get rid of that hole. You get the little ladder here. Oh, that foam is rolling away. Get the ladder and go up and do a few more of the potential scam. Let's see how this goes. Hello?
Hello, Captain. Is it Neil Leopard?
No, you have the wrong number. They don't even say thank you or nothing. They just hung up when I say they have the wrong number. I love that the phones now say scam likely. And the latest scam that I've seen, that I've had already 2 phone calls in the last couple of months, is calling me from the bank, telling me that somebody made, that I supposedly made a transaction to someone with a weird name that they give me. If I did that, and of course I hadn't, so I'll say no. And then they start asking me personal information. And that's when I say, I have to confirm to you who I am. I'm telling you I didn't do it. If I was telling you yes, then I could see how you could be like, all right, let me make sure it was you. Give me your date of birth or something. But no, it's to cancel. But you already think it's a fraud. So if I'm telling you it is, what are you gonna do if I tell you no, it's not a fraud? You're gonna let it go on because I don't give you my information? You're gonna let that transaction go through that you already thought it was a fraud? Because I haven't confirmed that it's a fraud? That makes no sense. And when I say confirm, means that I didn't give you information on myself, but I already told you it is. So then, and by the way, you can't go off the caller ID because they do what's called spoofing, that they show on the caller ID of the phone number of the bank they're calling you from. So you can look that up online. You can do it yourself too. You could spoof a call. And you could display, you could call someone and display even their own phone number on their caller ID. And what's crazy, because I tried it, that if you do that and you do it with their own phone number and they don't answer, guess what's gonna happen? It goes into their voicemail and gives you access without a password because the phone system thinks that it was them calling. You know how when you call from your own phone, you don't need to put a password? So it's insane. The scams now. And all the things that could happen. So yeah, you gotta be careful. People scamming out there. And then you got people also using even your voice with the AI to calling you with somebody's voice that you know, which make you think that it's the person. So it's too much. All right, so I'm done out here. See, it never happened. What did I say? Oh, but let me put this back in here before I forget. So yeah, you gotta be careful with all the scams that are going on. And obviously this video was not about scams, but it's good to know what's going on. So if I could put a drain right there. Let me see what's going on. I was thinking about something else that I gotta do. Let's go inside and finish this project. All right, so I started putting this hose up here. I'm not gonna tie it in all the way until I get this one going here, so it could land in the best position possible and not have it kinked. So that's hand tight there. And this one, of course, only gets hand tight. There's no tool needed for the top one. The one down here does. And now, so I don't put tension on that hose, let me hold this and give it the last nuts. Let's open this up. And voila. Filling up the toilet here. Oh man, this camera moved. Didn't even show that part, but here it goes. It's connected. It's filling up the tank there. Now I have to find something. Find something to come back to fill that up. Or to close that up. So I got myself a piece of metal that I've actually cut to size, a piece of like, just from a bigger piece of this metal thing that was on top of one of those crates that has the totes in it. That have videos on it where I make Let me take the sticker off. It's like one of those safety stickers on there. And I already cut it, the little groove here that's gonna go around that fixture there, or that valve. So this came from was the warning sign on those 275 gallon totes that normally come with some type of degreaser or solvent. And I use them once they're empty to put firewood and make awesome crates. Those, the actual cage, the containers come in, those square containers. I'm just trying to take off here because on this piece there was a portion of the warning label that said, you know, what was in it. Which this one was, again, specifically on this one, it was actually concentrated detergent. So I'm gonna put that like that right there. And now I'm gonna put 4 little self taps to hold that there. And of course that could be painted later on white or something to make it aesthetically better. But again, this is the shop bathroom, so don't go crazy over how this looks. Because it's only the shop bathroom. There goes one self tap. Number 2 will go right here. Oh, dropped it. Spun out. Let's try it again. Sucks to work with gloves, but it's kind of chilly right now. And this metal, believe it or not, it's kind of hard, this one here. Let me see to make sure that now mine is not rubbing, even though, let me take this off and cut a little bit more off. Even though mine is not rubbing, I'm gonna give it some more clearance. I'll give it a little bit more clearance here on the cut. And yes, I could have just moved the holes. I pulled it up a little bit, but I already had these holes made, so I wasn't trying to make it again. I already have the hole bigger now. Now this one here. All right. Now let's put this one on the right, and we're gonna be good to go. That's good. I don't even need to put a 4th one. Don't even need that on the bottom. This is good. And it's perfect. It can move around in case the wind hits it, but I could also put a clamp and clamp it down, but I'm not. Nothing's gonna happen there. It's perfect. So I'll catch you on the next one.